Following completing my final year at Loughborough University, in this video I'm going to be providing my guide and honest review of my Loughborough experience. For this video I'm going to be splitting it into 5 sections: academics, accommodation, socials, sport and careers. For those of you who are new to the channel, I studied psychology with criminology at Loughborough University, and during my time I've been very fortunate to achieve many accolades, most notably Student of the Year, and most recently upon graduation, the Dean's Award for Academic Excellence for graduating with the highest overall mark for my degree programme. Now, when comparing the academics from first year, second year and third year, if you don't take a placement year, the big difference is the shift from breadth to depth. So in my first year, for example, I studied 11 modules, which were 10 and 20 credits. In my second year, I studied 8 modules worth 10 and 20 credits. And then by my third year, I studied only 5 modules worth 20 and 40 credits. All degree programs consist of 360 credits, hence that's why it's called a degree. And that's split between your first year, where you have 120 credits, second year 120 credits, and in your final year 120 credits. Credits are calculated based on the idea that each credit is the equivalent of 10 hours of work, and that combines lecture time as well as independent study. So if you have a 10 credit module, you should be putting in 100 hours of work into that module. Again, 20 credits, 200 hours, 40 credit, 400 hours. And credits, normally with the modules, they are split across semester 1 and semester 2. So the way it works at Loughborough, for those who haven't seen my previous videos, is semester 1 runs from September to January, and you have your exams in the January window. And then semester 2 runs from February all the way till June, and exams are either at the end of May or fall into the beginning of June, depending upon your degree programme. Most degree programmes at Loughborough are assessed by examinations and coursework. So examinations can be either in-person exams, they can be online short window exams, which is where you may be allocated 2 hours, for example, to take the examination and upload your answers, or they may be online long window exam, where they can be up to 23 hours to do the exam in. Alternatively, for coursework, these modules can be assessed in different ways. So most courseworks are normally essay based, but some may be a group presentation, for example, or a blog post, etc., depending upon your degree program. Now, focusing more on the review side of academics, for me, I actually had a very good experience of my academics at Loughborough. So firstly, when it came to my lectures, it was very beneficial that all our lectures were recorded, meaning I could review and recap them. But most importantly, with the staff, all of my staff I had across all 3 years were very accommodating, very accepting and very approachable, meaning that if I had a question, for example, of a concept I didn't quite understand, most times I could stay behind the lecture for 5 minutes to quickly grab the staff member and ask, would you mind clarifying something? Or during the break between a 2-hour lecture, we might have a 5-minute break, asking quickly then, and they would always be more than happy to address my questions. Or alternatively, at Loughborough we have the Learn Forum, which is an online learning resource where you can upload questions on a Q&A forum and your lecturers get back to you there. So that support really was beneficial for me as a Loughborough student and definitely helped my learning experience immensely. Also, as I've mentioned in my other videos previously, there is drop-in sessions throughout the term for some modules, say if you have difficulty, particularly in our dissertations. So the dissertation is the only module that runs from semester 1 all the way through to the end of semester 2. So sometimes there would be optional drop-in sessions where you could attend and get further one-to-one experience. Also, your personal tutors. My personal tutor, for example, was a very beneficial guide. So if you needed some advice, more generally speaking, especially during your first year when you're kind of acclimatizing to university, they're a touch point where you've got someone who you can reach out to and ask sort of any more general questions as you navigate your way through, and that for me was definitely very beneficial. And even members like the academic library staff, so when it comes to referencing, which was the big thing for me when I first came to university, learning how to reference and navigate reading lists, each school at Loughborough has a dedicated academic librarian who you can contact, and they were always very prompt to their responses. And again, it was just a very nice reassuring contact point that helped me immensely throughout my academic journey. With my degree program, it consisted of lectures, seminars and tutorials. So lectures are typically much larger group sizes where a lecturer will simply just present the information, you write down notes and take them away to conduct further reading, etc. That will be shown on reading lists. You also have, for me and my degree program, seminars and tutorials, which are smaller group-based sessions where something will get covered in the lecture, and then as a smaller group you will have the opportunity to discuss with your lecturer and with other peers in your sort of cohort things that have come up in the lecture, areas to address and things to consider ahead of exams and coursework together. Also, in terms of resources available, So there's many resources on an academic perspective for students to use during their time at Loughborough. Most students obviously use the library, so our library at Loughborough has 4 levels to it, and during the typical term time it's open from normally around 8 AM till typically around 2 AM, and then during the exam period it is open 24 hours. So again, this is a great place for students to be able to study and prioritise their work. But the library is not the only place for students to study. It's where I spent a big portion of my time, but also there's many other places such as Hazelgrave, which is a 24-hour space where it has some IT suites there as well. And also STEM Lab as well, for example, has many other computer rooms, study spaces, desks, etc. And again, if you've not seen it already, check out my Loughborough campus tour video, which shows all the different study spaces available to you on campus. In terms of advice, and for those who are entering university, for me, I always try to treat my uni as a 9-to-5 job. By that I mean I'd always try and stay on top of things and allocate certain hours to get tasks done, rather than leaving things to be a last minute panic or a last minute rush, meaning that I had both enough time to focus on my academics, but also enough time to focus on the social side and the broader side of things, because uni, like I've said it so many times on this channel, is not just about developing as an academic, but also developing as an individual as well. So that was some of my very basic early advice. And you learn through your time in first year to set yourself up for second year. In second year, you set yourself up for third year. It's a constant learning curve, and don't be afraid of making mistakes, especially in your first year. That's why first year ultimately exists. It's to get used to how university works, understand so you can set yourself up well for success in second and third year, where at Loughborough those grades are what then contributes to your degree classification. But if you guys would like further information or a detailed guide on how I managed to achieve a first and get the highest grade for my program, then feel free to let me know down in the comments and I can make a video separately to that. The next section of this video is going to be speaking about accommodation. So during my time at Loughborough, I firstly spent my first year and second year living in halls of residence, and the hall of residence that I lived on campus was Royce Hall, and I opted for the 4 feet plus ensuite bed option. Now if you want a breakdown of all the different halls on campus, all the different room options, price points, etc., after this video go and check out my complete guide of all the accommodations available on campus and off campus at Loughborough. So from my experience living in Royce Hall, firstly from the catered side of perspectives, I was catered for 5 days a week with 3 meals a day within my package. And surprisingly, the food was actually quite good for catered food, I'll be honest. Obviously, it's not going to be gourmet food, don't be expecting anything too extravagant, but it's definitely edible and definitely a lot better than I've seen at a lot of other places, so don't have any concerns over that. Also, for those of you who have any food allergies, do not worry. At catered halls, if you inform the dining hall staff, they can cater for your allergies, so you'll still be able to eat the catered food without having to worry. Now, the reason why I ended up returning to halls in my second year is because I decided I wanted to be part of the Royce Hall committee. So every hall of residence has a committee, and a committee is made up of 18 students typically that are responsible for overseeing the freshers or the freshers activities throughout the year, and they can consist of roles such as sports secretaries, media secretaries, my role, welfare and diversity representative, and the head of the student committee is the hall chair, and the hall chair is overseen by the sub-wardens, which are typically PhD students, and then the sub-wardens are obviously overseen by the hall warden, who is the main contact point of the hall. They live within the hall as well, and they basically ensure that students are safe and that no issues arise, as well as organising all the social activities, etc. All those fun parts as well that all make up part of the hall life and the university experience during your time there. The best part about halls was definitely the people that I met. So my best friends now, we actually lived in the same hall together in first year, and we're from all completely different countries, but we are definitely friends for life for sure. And the halls gives you the chance to meet these people and share these amazing experiences through whether it be certain halls days. So Royce, for example, we have something called St Fred's Day, as well as the Royce 100, as well as high tables, different proms, balls, etc. And there's just so many amazing experiences and magical moments that I cherish forever. And like I say, it's not just the academics you take from university, or especially Loughborough, but also those moments that stay with you forever, and those friendships and those connections that truly make the university's experience very special. So after year 1 and year 2, I spent a year away on my placement year undertaking the Year in Enterprise scheme, which I'll talk about a little bit later. And also during that time, I actually had the chance to go out to India to spend some time with my best friends I made in first year and second year, All of us from different countries, we met up in India at one of our best friends' houses. So that was an experience and a half from uni as a side note. But getting back to the point, after that year, in my third year, I came back and I stayed just off campus, just because I wanted a bit of a change of scenery for my final year. Most students at Loughborough live in the Student Triangle, which is an area of the town, which I'll probably put a map up, or if you've not seen my town tour review video, definitely check that out, as that shows where the Student Triangle is located. But for me, I actually stayed just over on the library side of campus, so just behind the library there's an area of campus of private accommodations, and I found my accommodation through Loughborough University's student search pad, which if you're looking for a property to rent during the year, I would definitely recommend, as my property for the year came to £100 per week in rent, inclusive of all bills, which was actually a very, very good price considering. Now moving on to the next section, I'm going to talk about socials. Now first up, I will talk about probably what most people associate with university socials, and that's the nightlife. Now by no means am I a party animal or anything of that form. I would often go out once every few weeks, or by my final year, once every few months because of external commitments. But I'll talk about a little brief overview of some of the nightlife in and around the Loughborough area right now. So first up, there is the Students' Union. So during the day, the Students' Union operates as a standard union as you'd expect, has different food options, study space, etc. And then for the night, it becomes a nightclub. And the main days that the Students' Union is open is on the Wednesday for something called Hey You versus AU, which is often after celebrating the Wednesday fixtures. So if you play sport for the university or any university, your fixtures will typically always take place on Wednesday evening. Me for futsal, I would have fixtures on a Sunday actually, but most other sports, their fixtures would fall on a Wednesday. That's why you would not have timetabled lectures on a Wednesday afternoon onwards. So then sort of Hey You versus AU was set up to celebrate the successes after a sporting fixture. And then the other main day at Loughborough within the Students' Union is Friday, called FND, which stands for Friday Night Disco. Again, sort of a pretty standard club night. There would be other nights throughout the year as well, so you'd have like Cogs, for example, on a Thursday, which is more sort of R&B vibes, sort of that kind of genre of music, and then other different events throughout the year in the Students' Union. Now, there is also obviously options in town, so the Griffin Garden Party, if you're more into sort of like a pub party, pub garden party kind of vibe, that's definitely a very popular place for students. A lot of their events would sell out, and there's different clubs located throughout the town as well for students who like to go there as well. I've mentioned those previously on the channel, and again, if you check out the town tour, you can see a thorough in-depth showcase of those different options available. But often what a lot of students actually do in Loughborough is, because Loughborough is very much the university then the town, because of how very heavily populated the university campus is, spanning over 550 acres. A lot of students actually travel out to other nearby areas such as Derby or Nottingham sometimes, and I've been once or twice to Nottingham, for example. A few of my friends have gone out and celebrated events there. Most recently I actually celebrated Holy there, which was a very, very good experience over at Binks Yard. So definitely if you get the chance to venture out, I definitely recommend it once to try and broaden your horizons. And it doesn't have to be going out night clubbing. It can be daytime options as well, like Vamos La Bomba is another option at Binks Yard, for example, for those who like Latin or reggaeton music. So again, there's lots and lots of options available in Loughborough, but a lot of people often venture outside of Loughborough as well for both nighttime events, daytime events, and sober events as well, because we see an increasing amount of students nowadays not opting to drink. I don't drink too much, to be honest, if rarely ever. So yeah, it's very encouraging and very welcoming as an environment for you to go out and have a good time outside of your academics. The other aspects of socials at Loughborough is the societies. So there's actually over 100 societies at Loughborough, and this is a very broad, diverse range. So some of the societies off the top of my head are Salsa Society, Indian Society, Tabletop Gaming Society, Stage Society, etc. Pretty much any society you can think of, it's going to exist at Loughborough. And the great thing is that if there's a society that you want to create and it doesn't exist, you can have the ability to create your own society. So it's a really great experience to get involved amongst other students as well. And even beyond our societies as well, we have different sections of the Students' Union, and some of the ones I'll talk about in this video today is, for example, LSU Media, which I've actually been part of before. So LSU Media, they produce different content across different broadcasting channels. For me, for example, the section of LSU Media that I got involved in was LSU TV, which is the TV department or the TV section of LSU Media, presenting a series called Freshen Up. and that was a really nice experience to get some presenting experience, learn about things behind different cameras, etc., and meet students who had similar sort of passions and interests. Also, another section of the Students' Union that I got involved with during my time at Loughborough was LSU RAG, which is the fundraising section. And LSU RAG, they offer a number of amazing experiences every single year. For example, Dash to Dubrovnik, treks to Machu Picchu, and one of the trips that I was involved with as a volunteer was the opportunity to go out to Thailand, where I spent a week in a village hill tribe in Mae Sariang, and a second week in Chiang Mai working in an elephant sanctuary, learning about the elephant tourism industry and the unethical side of it, which I further went on to document as part of my own production company. So that trip out there as a volunteer opened up a completely new experience for me to start a business actually, and the opportunities that you have at Loughborough are truly endless. So I've not even mentioned LSU Action or the enterprise section as well, which is a massive section I've got involved with at Loughborough, which is the section that supports student businesses. So any entrepreneurial kind of journey or vision that you've ever wanted to pursue, you can have the chance to do that at Loughborough, and you get the support and the resources there. So these are all social sides that extend beyond your degree that are truly, truly incredible opportunities, and for me have been invaluable in shaping my career and my future direction as both a student but also as an individual, like I've said so many times even within this video. Now let's move on to sport, and for those of you who may be aware, Loughborough University is very, very well known for our sporting success. Now we've actually been BUCS champions for 43 consecutive years ever since its inception, and BUCS stands for British Universities Colleges Sport. All universities in the UK compete in BUCS, and like I say, Loughborough, ever since its introduction, have been champions every single year. If you would like a rundown and more in-depth information on all the different sports as well as societies, etc., things I mentioned earlier, then check out my guide and review video of Loughborough that's already on my channel. But just for the sake of this video, I'm going to be focusing on the levels of sport that I competed at. So firstly, I competed at the university's AU level, which is Athletic Union, meaning that you represent the university in futsal. So futsal, we had roughly 200 trialists back in my first year, competing for 30 slots within the BUCS teams. And as you can see, it's a very, very competitive process. Only the elite few make it. And it was honestly an immense pleasure and privilege to be able to train with the BUCS AU teams and be part of the BUCS 4s and 3s during my time at Loughborough. And even being able to compete and train among the ones was such a beneficial experience, because so many of the players in the first team have gone on to represent their countries on a national level, and the first team at Loughborough, they play in the highest level of futsal within the United Kingdom, and that same level of prestige and excellence is across all the sports at Loughborough. There's so many sports that are achieving so many incredible achievements, and so many students that you see competing in the Olympics, for example, and still pursuing their degrees. It's truly, truly incredible to be able to see so many students achieve both such great sporting success but also such great academic success, because often the biggest kind of misconception that people have of Loughborough is that we're just a sporting university. Yes, we're very well known for our sport, but we have excellence and we strive to achieve excellence across all of our different disciplines, all of our different departments. So that's probably the biggest misconception as well surrounding Loughborough that I want to bring to awareness during this video. Not only was I able to study at a top 10 UK institution at Loughborough, but also I was able to play sport at the highest level for futsal. And also on campus, you can even use all these resources yourself as a student. So again, if you've seen my campus tour video, if not, definitely check it out. You can see some of the areas and the resources we have for students to use, such as Beach Park and Games Park. Also, the gyms on campus are elite facilities, and you have the athletic centre you can use as well, all included within your different gym memberships. And again, I can provide links in the description below, or if anyone has any comments, flag them in the description below if you want to learn more about membership prices, how to get into sports, what societies are available, etc. Let me know down in the comments below and I'll be able to get back to you and provide you more information. But there's so many resources and amazing opportunities at Loughborough that truly, if there's something that you want to get involved with and there's a passion that you want to ignite or just try out for a kind of like a first time experience, that's why we have so many different taster sessions, etc. Loughborough is definitely the place to try that, and you'll be sure to be able to gain so many new skills and new opportunities during your time at the university, because I want all of you, just as a side note, to make the most of your time at university, because it does go by so quickly. It sounds very cliche, I know, but honestly, one minute you're in first year and the next minute you're graduating. So for me, what I want and the aim of this channel is to ensure you guys have the best experience at university. Like I say, developing both as an academic, but also I want you guys to develop as the best people possible and have the greatest success. The final section of this video is going to be talking all about careers. So first up within the careers section, I'm going to talk about part-time work. For me, during my time at Loughborough, I was a student ambassador, and some of the shifts I've been involved with during my time as an ambassador have included open day tours, making vlogs, podcasts, etc. Lots and lots of honestly really fun activities. It's never felt like work, I'll be honest, during my time as a student ambassador. It's such a great experience and opportunity to earn some money. Now the application process is very, very competitive, as you can probably imagine. So if you do want to be a student ambassador for Loughborough University, you should definitely check out the video on my channel outlining how to be a student ambassador and my top tips for how to apply and get the best application to improve your success rate of being accepted within the ambassador program. For part-time work, there is many other opportunities also, both on campus, especially within the Students' Union, for students to get part-time work opportunities there, or also within the town itself. Obviously, there is further part-time work opportunities available for you as a student. Focusing more specifically on graduate careers, the university has an invaluable careers network team who can offer advice where you can book appointments to ask for careers advice or advice on sections such as your CV or interview tips, mock interviews, etc., or just simply resourcing and networking. Now this is a very, very useful tool. And also, in addition to this, every course at Loughborough offers the chance to a placement year, which is a year spent between your second year and the third year of your academics. Now in terms of placement options, at Loughborough we offer the traditional placement year, which is where you will spend a year working for another company typically. We also offer to do a study abroad scheme, which is where you will spend a year studying at one of our partner institutions in a abroad country. And the final option, which I decided to undertake, which is the year in enterprise, where you have a year for students to develop their own business with the help and assistance of the university's support, specifically the enterprise section and the LEN team. During my year in enterprise as a documentary filmmaker through Jamie Clark Productions, I help NGOs, IGOs and charities overcome social and global issues through free-to-view documentaries and series. I generate my revenue through licensing, advertising and commission from overseas program referrals. A percentage of the profits are donated back into supporting the work that organisations I partner with, and my viewers can take away with them actions that can truly make a difference, all while still being entertained. So far, since launching in September 2023, I've produced an award-winning documentaries and series made out in Thailand with Save Elephant Foundation, Elephant Nature Park and renowned conservationist Lek Chaelhurt. Also, I've managed to acquire over £5,000 in equity-free investment prior to launch, and gone on to win many awards, most notably the Year in Enterprise Award, which is awarded to the best business from the Year in Enterprise cohort, and currently have access to hubs in 7 different countries in the world through my partnerships that I've established with different NGOs and overseas programs. Some of the support the university has provided for me during my year in enterprise and beyond during my final year while I've been developing my business has included investment opportunities to enable me to secure investment into my business. Also, they provided guidance and assistance with areas such as how to secure trademarks to protect my business and intellectual property. And also we have a business incubator on campus, on our Loughborough campus, as well as on our London campus as well. We have areas which can be used as co-working spaces, for meeting rooms, etc. And also to help broaden networking connections during my entrepreneurial journey so far. So that's been all for my review, guide and experience reflection of my time at Loughborough University. If any of you have any queries, comments or suggestions, please let me know in the comments down below, and definitely check out the other videos on my channel if you've not already watched them already. But at least for this video, that's all from me. Thank you once again for listening, and I wish you guys all the very best.